This time on the show, securely forwarding X11 over SSH so you can use Linux GUI tools anywhere, even on Windows. Multicam editing, SMS rescue text, Android editors, Clark Kent glasses, and so much more this time on Hak5.
Yeah, hook me up, I'm ready.
This episode of Hak5 is brought to you by Got a Great Idea? It all starts with a great domain, domain.com. GoToMeeting, and Netflix. Go to www.netflix.com/Hak5 for your free trial membership.
Hello and welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen. This is your weekly dose of Technolust, and we've got a great show for you guys this week. How was your week? I mean, mine's been going pretty good, I guess. I mean, I had a nice weekend. What about you? Do anything cool? I mean, I just figured we don't really chit-chat that much, and, well, I don't know, you could email me or call. You never call anymore. Anyway, back to the show. What was I talking about again? We've got a great show for you guys this week. Shannon's going to be joining us a little later on, a little round table. We're talking about some fun inside Hak5 stuff. We're talking about some editing. We're talking about a tip that might save you on your next awkward situation. Wouldn't know anything about those because shooting A blocks by myself is totally not awkward, right? So, why don't we go ahead and get right into it? I've got a great segment in the works, and unfortunately, though it was slated for 8:07, has got to push back to next week, but doing a lot of fun stuff with DNS, so stay tuned next week for that, maybe a little brute forcing action. But in the meantime, I figured, since I recently made the plunge and switched to Linux on the desktop, we'd talk about some fun things that we can do with SSH. Now, as you guys know, we've talked about SSH in the past. There's plenty of awesome servers on Windows, on Linux, whatever have you. Of course, my favorite being OpenSSH. And we've also talked about how we can use it to do secure tunneling of your web traffic, whether that be like a SOX5 proxy or even setting up like key encryption for an alternative authentication. But today I figured, why don't we paint the picture where whether it be me at, I don't know, revision 3 working on a Mac or at my editing PC on Windows or whatever have you, and there's an application that I want to use in Linux. Well, sure, SSH is perfect for that. Use it all the time to go ahead and tunnel into a machine and get an interactive prompt on there so I can use whatever those tools be, whether it be, you know, Nmap or whatever, right? But sometimes there's graphical applications that I want to use, and doing something like a full VNC session or an RDP session or whatever have you for your favorite method of remote access is a bit overkill for just the entire desktop. Not to mention, if you already have SSH set up, it's a great way to go ahead and run those applications that you want securely, because SSH is inherently secure. VNC, however, not so much. So, since we've got a wall-mounted VM server there running all our good stuff that we're SSHing over the internet to get to anyway, might as well go ahead and run those applications using X11 Forwarding over SSH. So I figured, why don't we go ahead now, talk about how to set this up in Linux, and then a little bit later we're going to do the same thing in Windows. Oh yes, that means we're going to be able to run fun Linux programs in Windows, and they'll actually be using the CPU cycles on another machine, and yes! Anyway, fun, happy, good stuff. But let's go ahead and get it set up. Now I'm going to use one of our test Ubuntu machines that's running on the VM server back here as our server, and then our client is going to be, well, in this case, another Linux machine. So I've already got those pulled up here, and let's see, log into our test machine. And I just need to pull up a shell, and if you don't already have an SSH server running, I just like to go ahead and set up OpenSSH. It's real simple on Debian. Sudo apt-get install OpenSSH-server. Now, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the configuration since we've already done that in previous episodes, but reference those if you're interested. For the meantime, let's just go ahead and make sure that the service is running by issuing SSH localhost. And we'll say yes because we know that's our key. And there we go. We can actually go ahead and log in. Now, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to SSH back into ourselves. So what we want to do now is start an application using SSH over from another machine. So this being a remote desktop application here, right? That's another machine. So back to our host here, I've already have a terminal going. I can SSH to, what's the IP over here? To 10.13.37.123. So test is the user at 10.13.37.123. And that's the key. So we're going to go ahead and add that and log in as him. And there we go, right? We're on this, and boom, if I wanted to, I see, I don't know, I've got a, well, I know I've got a bash RC file, so cat.bash RC, right? So I can cat that, or if I wanted to, I could use vi or vim, vim.bash RC, right? So I can edit this right there. Oops, I don't have vim. Let's see, vi.bash RC. Okay, there we go. So now I'm in vi, and I can make my edits just like I would. But what if I wanted to use a graphical editor to do this? So let me quit out of this and say gedit.bash RC. Well, that's not going to work. It's actually going to throw an error that says cannot open display. Now the display, all of this, whether it's GNOME, which is actually using right here in Ubuntu, or KDE or Fluxbox or whatever have you, it's using X11 as the interface there to do all of that fun windowing goodness. And we can use that to actually pass the application over to our client machine. Now, since our client machine is Linux, it already has an X11 server built in, so there's really not a whole lot configuration here. As long as we already have an SSH connection between these two machines, it's really just a matter of passing a variable, or a parameter when we connect that'll allow us to do local X11 forwarding. So let me show you here. We're going to have to actually quit out of this session, so I'm going to exit. And here, I forgot about this. I should have probably done this in the past. Zoom in there. I hope that helps you guys see a little bit better. So close that connection. And now what I want to do is actually do SSH, and I'm going to do Hak5 for verbose, tac capital X for X11 forwarding. And again, we're going to log into test at 10.13.37.123. We're going to give it a password. And there we are. And just as before, we're already in there. We can vi our .bash rc just as before. But now, if I wanted to open up a graphical interface, I can type in, let's say, gedit.bash rc ampersand. If I zoom out here. Boom. Now this gedit here isn't the gedit that's running locally on my machine. It's the one running over there, but I get a nice GUI now. So let's run something more complex. Come back over here, and I don't know if I have it installed. Maybe I'll just grab it real quick. Right. So there we go. We have Wireshark installed on our test server over here, and if I were to issue gk sudo Wireshark, there we go. Wireshark starts up. And I could use it just like I could on my machine here, but it's not running on my machine here. It's running over there, which is the really nifty part about it. So, for example, if I wanted to do some network sniffing on the network here while I was outside the network, I could totally do that with this. And I hope that I hope it all makes sense. Send an email to feedback@hak5.org if you want further explanation or want to see some other demos with this. But I should probably mention that this isn't a replacement for like a VNC or RDP. While it is secure, it's not a fully interactive desktop. And while you could do that, it's really easy to just go ahead and start up the applications that you need and not have to mess with the whole interface that is like this RDP session over here, where it's like, all right, great, I don't really need all this. All I want is Firefox. So rather than popping this open to run Firefox, I could just come down here and run Firefox. Ampersand. Boom. You know, Makes it simple. I like it. So in just a bit, we're going to learn how to do the same thing in Windows, taking Windows to the elite level. And I figured right now, let's just go ahead and check in with Shannon, find out about last week and this week's trivia.
Last week's trivia question was, what software is used to hack into NCOM's computer system? And the answer was CLU, or Clue. If you want to win some Hak5 swag this week, go over to hak5.org/trivia and answer this question. Gatekeeper is the computer security software in what kind of cliche hacker movie? We'll be right back after. Damn it.
If you've got a creative idea or want to start a new business, I recommend getting a domain name and web hosting from domain.com. Domain.com has the domain you want, fast, easy, and inexpensive. With free domain tools including URL and email forwarding, DNS management, and transfer lock. Their Linux-powered hosting plans are dependable, flexible, and affordable too. With free setup and no commitment required, their deluxe hosting offers unlimited bandwidth and site builder pages at a mere $8.75 a month. They even make it dead simple to get started with plenty of free software like WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, and more, all installed in just a few clicks. And as a Hak5 viewer, you get an extra 15% off your order when you check out with coupon code HAK5. Got a great idea? It all starts with a great domain, domain.com.
All right, so at the top of the show, we talked about how to use X11 Forwarding over SSH from one Linux machine to another. But what if you've got an awesome Linux machine at home and you're stuck on Windows at work or whatever have you, and you want to use those interactive GUI-based Linux applications in Windows without having to fire up RDP or VNC to do a fully remote desktop interactive environment. You just want that application and you want it secure. If you've already got SSH set up and running, let's go ahead and learn how we can do this in Linux. Now, sorry, did I say Linux? I meant Windows. See, it's already like sinking into my head. In fact, I even have to pull up a Windows virtual machine because I don't have Windows on my laptop anymore. Sweet, huh? All right, so I got my Linux, doing it again. I've got my Windows VM popped up here, and yeah, I know, I'm just rocking XP, but whatever. And what I wanted to point out here is Xming. It's an X server for Windows. So X, the server that runs all of our happy GUI stuff, whether it be Fluxbox or GNOME, KDE, what have you, we can actually install that since it's open source. There's a port for Windows. One of the best ones is Xming, and if we run that on our Windows server, then when we SSH over to our Linux machine and try to run a graphical application, it's going to go ahead and come across and run on our local X server. So let's go ahead and show you how to set it up. I've already downloaded it here. And pretty simple, next, finish. If you've done one install on Windows, you've done them all. And it's going to launch Xming, and we can actually see it down here. We can view the log. I'll leave that open. And let's go ahead and fire up PuTTY. Now, Plink is another great SSH client for Windows. Same place you can get it as PuTTY. In fact, Xming even comes with a portable version of Plink that doesn't save any of the configuration into the Windows registry. So if you're looking for a portable solution, that might be the answer for you as well. But right now, just within PuTTY, let's learn how to go ahead and enable that SSH or that X11 so that we can run those interactive applications. So from within here, I'm going to go ahead and give my host, just like normal, 13.37.123. Here we go, zoom in there, right? And what we want to do is come down under Connections and SSH and go to X11. And we want to check that X11 forwarding is enabled. And we want to say localhost :0. All right. So with that set up, I'm going to go ahead and say open. And we're going to save that. And we're going to log in as test. And there we go. So just like before, I can find my bash rc, or if I want to, I can open up gedit. Oops. All right, fix that later. And gedit.bash rc. And in just a moment here, there we go. Check that out, right? I'm in Windows, but I've got a Linux app running, and it's super freaking sweet because it's running over the network. So I guess I should mention that a network throughput might be a limitation there if you're running like a gigantic honking application over like a DSL or something. But yeah, this is freaking sweet. So I can go ahead and quit that, and there you go. That's really all there is to it. If you're using PuTTY, it's just a simple checkbox. If you're using Plink, just like before in Linux, it's TAC capital X for X11 Forwarding. Hope that that helps you guys. For those of you that are stuck on a Windows box that want to run some nifty GUI stuff. Of course, if you have any feedback to this or some questions, hit up the show notes at hak5.org or email us feedback@hak5.org. We'd love to hear what you guys think. Of course, next week we're going to be doing some fun DNS stuff, and in just a bit, Shannon's going to be joining us for, well, a tip that's going to save you from an awkward situation. But for right now, let's just go ahead and thank one of our awesome sponsors.
Netflix delivers movies directly to your home, saving you time, money, and hassle. As a Netflix Unlimited member, you get DVDs by mail in about 1 business day. Plus, you can instantly watch thousands of TV episodes and movies, streaming directly to your PC, Mac, or right to your TV via a Netflix-ready device like the Xbox 360, PS3, and the Nintendo Wii console. Watch as many movies as you want. Shipping is free, and there are never any late fees nor due dates. Keep the movies as long as you like. DVDs by mail, plus instantly right to your TV. Get unlimited movies 2 ways for only $8.99 a month. As a new member and a Hak5 viewer, you can get a free trial membership. Go to www.netflix.com/HAK5 and sign up now. Be sure to use this URL so that they know we sent you.
Once again, using the power of the computer, internet, and GoToMeeting, I'm joined by my fabulous co-host, my favorite snubs, Shannon Morris. How are you?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Doing well.
Hey, I have a special guest today.
Uh-oh. Who's joining you?
Do you recognize this little one?
Oh, I miss Kirby so much. When can I see her again?
Probably February or March.
Oh, or March now? Come on.
February.
February sounds good. Okay.
Depending on if there's ice on the road.
Well, I'm so stoked that you're coming out here. That's going to be great. But still rocking Missouri, so we've got this wonderful thing where we can collaborate. And I figured, why don't we just do a little show and tell and see like what we've found, what's been tickling our technolust, if you will, this week.
Okay. So what do you have for me?
All right. So you know how we've been doing multicam shoots on Hak5 since day one, like even back to the first season. We used to record on each camera individually on these like micro DV tapes, and then we would have to digitize them, and there would be like a stack of them. It would take hours and hours to digitize all these. And then we had
the
like
horror stories.
yeah. Then we had this period where we switched over to back at the Hack House. Paul ran this awesome, sweet board that took all of our cameras in over HDMI, and he did the real-time switching, and it was great because we were able to shoot live to tape, which meant we were able to produce a lot faster in studio and all that stuff. And I can't wait to get back.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I can't wait to get back to that. And here in Season 8 is kind of transitional with like you and Jason and Mubix and everybody flying out here, and us doing a little bit of multicam shooting again, and using a new technique that it's an adapted technique of something I've done before, and this really doesn't have any practical application for most of our audience except for like the 10 people that are video editors or whatever. But
that's true.
But people ask all the time how we do this, and I thought I'd share because I think it's really interesting, especially this new stuff in Premiere. So I've got it pulled up with screen sharing, and I figured I'd show you here. This is actually a shoot from last week, and we were talking about HANA. And you see here in the timeline, I've got these 3 clips here, and it's actually, I've named them the wide camera, the snubs cam, and the Darren cam, and I can mute these channels here, and you see there's both of us, and then there's one of just you, and there's one of just me, and just making this amazing face. But you see what I've done here on the left side when like I choose this clip here is that I come back and forth, and if you've seen outtakes, you notice that we're all the time clapping, and typically this is done with like a professional like clapboard in, you know, these expensive, whatever. You don't need this expensive Hollywood clapboard thing. Just clap, you know. And all I do is I sync up when my hands meet or when the sound. When I hear the clap on all of the audio tracks, and if like I zoom in here, I can actually see that right there. It's like really apparent. Right?
Oh yeah, you can see the clap.
And what I used to do is I'd come in here and they would like, okay, I want Darren on that clip, so I'd do a slice, and then I want Shannon there, and I'd do another slice, and then see how these are stacked, so it's Darren, Snubs, wide. Well, I would leave Darren there, and then if I wanted to cut over to Snubs here, I would delete Darren, so now it goes over to you, and then like if I wanted wide, I'd do another slice, and I'd delete the Darren, then delete the Snubs. And I'd end up with like these stairs going up and down all the time, like of us going between the cameras, and it's kind of painful. I mean, it takes a while, you know, because you're constantly like, as you're doing your editing, you're constantly like stopping, slicing, deleting stuff, moving around.
It's a pain and it takes way too long.
Yes, so I found this new feature, and I want to show it to you now because it's so cool. In Premiere, if you stack all your clips up once they're all synchronized with your clap or whatever you want to use, and then you drag that sequence into another sequence, I can actually do all of the cutting in real time, just like Paul used to do on the mixing board by going to...
That's cool.
Yeah, all I have to do is right-click on it and say multi-camera and enable. And then when I pull up my multi-camera monitor, this is so sick. So I've got these 4 windows here. The fourth one would probably be like the video screen capturing the video from your laptop in real time as well, which we've totally done. Yeah. So now I can
That's just like the thing that we used to have in that huge box that we would carry around.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah. So I can actually just play back the clip and choose whatever you know, like here you are like talking about something, so I can cut over to you or cut over to me, and I don't know. I just love it because I think that it adds a lot to the production of the show, and it makes it so much easier for me to just like, you know, set up all 3 cams, hit record on all of them, clap, and get it all done.
Wow, that's really cool. It saves a lot of time. It's efficient, and it makes it look much more. It gives us a lot more quality to our show. So yeah, I like it.
I'm looking forward to getting back into the groove with season 9, with you getting out here and shooting 3-cam style again. Maybe even building a proper studio again like we had before, and yeah.
Yes, I want to build a studio. Get my hands dirty, do some paint. Woo!
Sounds like fun. So what's been tickling your techno list lately?
Well, I go out to like a lot of bars and stuff, and I really don't like being mean to people and just being like, hey, I have a boyfriend, and just like throw them away. But I like to make friends, so if I start talking to somebody and they don't really, you know, they start hitting on me or something, I just want to get away from there. So I found this thing, it's called Rescue Me, and it's over at rescu.me, and I can show you it real quick if you want to jump over here. There you go.
I've got it pulled up.
Basically, it'll give you an excuse to get out of like an annoying date or any kind of conversation that you're having that you just don't want to be there for, and you don't want to be rude and just be like, I gotta go, bye. So what you can do is send an SMS or send a text message over to this phone number, 206-866-5924, and then you can put in the body of the message, SMS 5 is their example, and it'll send you an SMS message in 5 minutes. And then you can just be like, oh my god, my stepmother's dying or something, and you run away.
That's horrible. That's horrible.
I know.
But I love it.
But it saves you a lot of, you know, time and energy trying to come up with an excuse. You can just have it send you an SMS, and it can even call you too. If you send the number over there and you dial in something like, let's see, you can send call 15 and then to the phone number, and it'll call you in 15 minutes. It'll call your cell phone or whatever number that you'd send that text to. Yeah, it's it's hilarious. I tried it out and it does work, and it's really cute and painfully funny.
Thanks. I'm sure that's something you can actually use.
Yeah, it's something you can use if you're like, you know, out playing the field or something.
Right, and it's built on Ruby on Rails, so you know, I like the idea of specifying the message. Like you could add, you know, the email servers are down. Get to the office immediately, or whatever, and And I guess if you wanted to, you could actually go as far as to save that phone number in your phone as like a contact, even give it like a profile picture.
Yeah, you can give it a profile picture so that it looks like one of your real people are calling you.
Right, because it's a real phone number,
Like
it's not like a
picture of
short
your
code.
dad on there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I gotta go home. It's my curfew.
Curfew. You're going to turn into a pumpkin. All right, Cinderella.
At midnight.
Yeah.
My transit stops. I gotta go.
Oh, that's true. All right. Well, thanks so much, Shannon. That was fun. It's good to get on and, between Skype and GoToMeeting and share desktop and do this.
And thank you, Kirby, for joining us today. She's falling asleep on my mouse.
I can't wait to have her back in my life here. And you getting out here is cool too, I guess.
Oh, well, hey, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right, cool. Well, I will see you next week. Thanks for coming on.
Cool, thank you.
Take care. And I also want to thank our excellent sponsor for making segments like these possible. It's GoToMeeting. You have to meet with clients and colleagues, but with the average business travel costing $1,000, that's why I recommend traveling less and doing more with GoToMeeting. Just click, host a sales presentation, a training session, product demos, or just collaborate right from your desk. Plus, voice over IP and telephone conferencing is included. It's so easy you'll have your first meeting up and running in seconds. To try GoToMeeting free for 30 days, you must visit gotomeeting.com, click the Try It Free button, and use the promo code HAK for a free trial. That just about wraps up this episode of Hak5, but before we get going, let's check out your Technoloist photo of the week. But first, Shannon, we got some feedback this week, didn't we?
Yes, we always get all sorts of nice feedback over at feedback@hak5.org, and we selected a couple for this week. So our first one was from Rodrigo. He said, Darren, during your GoToMeeting segments, what kind of glasses do you use? And yeah, what are those?
Okay, so these are from Gunner Optics.
Okay.
I forget the particular name of these, but I'm probably splashing to them anyway. And they are computer glasses. They're gamer glasses, really. It was Evan Oberman from The Vessel turned me on to these a while ago, and I think it was like last E3 or maybe CES. And I was like, they're expensive. They're not gonna it's gonna increase your gaming performance and stuff like that. And on a whim, I saw them at DEF CON and thought I'd pick up a pair and see if they're what's up. And I don't know. I guess it helps you can do probably a lot more to help your eye strain than getting some fancy glasses. I think doing the whole bounce the light off the ceiling and not having bright fluorescence and turning down your monitor, stuff like that helps, as well as every couple of minutes just look at something else. You get in the zone. I know you're in the code, but try to focus your eye on different. Anyway, so
playing an FPS and you forget to blink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been playing. I've been using them for a while at my computer just to see, and I don't notice. I just noticed that they do make the colors look a little bit better, and they kind of magnify just a bit. I like them. They were cheap.
Let me try those on.
Yeah. They make me look so smart too.
All right. So yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see a color difference. I don't know if this would help with eye strain.
That's what they claim.
I'd have to wear them for a whole day to actually figure that out.
Anyway, checking out
do I look
Gunner
cool?
Optics. Yeah, you fool.
Yeah.
Snubs. When do you not look
I'm
cool?
a total BA. What? All right, next question.
Yes, please save ourselves.
Next one's from Kevin. He just wanted to know, have you found any app to get an auto SSH connection from your Droid back to your own servers? I've been looking for one, but I cannot find one.
Dude, okay. We talked about this I think it was a season ago. We talked about doing SSH with shared keys. And while there is a really cool terminal app for Android called ConnectBot, highly recommend. I think it's actually free. There is a terminal, and actually there's a couple of terminals, but the one that I like is Better Terminal for Android because your Android phone is basically a Linux box. So
cool.
Better Terminal allows you to just go ahead and get a prompt here. You don't even need to have root. It actually installs as part of Better Terminal a lot of other tools that you use on a regular basis, like sed and awk and all those other Linux tools. So one of the things that you can do is create that key pair that you just like you would from one Linux box to another, and then you can set up a shell script to automatically connect to you. No different on your Droid than it would be for any other computer to computer. Highly recommend the Better Terminal.
I wonder if there's something like that for the iPhone.
Oh, definitely. There's just a bunch of jailbroken apps to do that.
It's jailbroken, so I know I can do stuff like VNC and FaceTime on.
I hear a roundup coming.
Maybe. All right, our last question is, I have used Boxy for some time now, and I love that you guys have started some Boxy tutorials, very helpful. I created a Boxy add-on to Firefox this weekend. It's still in the sandbox, but I hope you like it. You can check it out and read more about it over at his link, and we put that in the show notes. And this is from Stora, or Stora H.
Stoa H.
Stoa H from
Sweden. Sweet.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, thanks for sending that in. We love Boxy, we love Firefox, so those go great together. And I hope that you know, it gets approved and into the store and all that stuff, so that everybody can enjoy that. So if you're a dev making cool stuff, send it our way. It doesn't always have to be a question, you know.
Yeah.
You can just share your technolust over at feedback@hak5.org. I also want to remind you that you can get involved with the show. You can participate in our Facebook and our Twitter, and subscribe over at YouTube and iTunes, so you get your technolust every week. Just shows up. You don't have to think about it. It's a free and easy way to support the show. Or if you want to kick a few bucks our way, head over to the Hack Shop. We got warm hoodies and all sorts of cozy technolust threads to keep you dressed. Don't be naked, people.
Don't be naked. And the hoodie is super warm.
We
I
don't
really
have
like
pants.
mine. It's
Pants
perfect
are
time for
optional.
fall.
Yeah.
Yep, pants are optional.
Pants are optional on Hak5.
What?
Well, what? With this camera
I was
angle,
just like,
think you guys
dude,
know what I'm wearing.
we're in the
Anyway.
studio, man.
Yeah.
I don't
Should've
want to
used
see
a
none of that.
different camera angle. You never know on Hak5, you know?
So,
Just saying.
Technolust photo.
Yes, what do we have this week?
This week's is from Tim. Tim streams Hak5 to all of his comforters.
Comforters. Dude.
He streams. Shut up. He streams Hak5 to all of his customers over at his computer store up in New York. And he has this huge LCD screen in the back. A lot of people, a lot of his customers have said, hey, cool, man. That's really awesome. I like the show.
Oh, well,
So,
thank you.
yeah.
Thank you for spreading the word.
Thanks for bringing people over to our podcast. We really appreciate it, Tim. And yeah, got to check out your computer store if I'm ever in New York.
Sweet. And this podcast will be back next week. And until then,
I'm Shannon Morris.
I'm Darren Kitchen.
And we're reminding you to trust your technolust.
What do you think? Clark Kent? Superman. Clark Kent? Superman.
We'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. Did that sound good? Okay. Oh, thank God.
With a little, I did this better the first time. Some inside baseball stuff, kind of editing stuff. I just said stuff twice in the same sentence, so I'm going to just STFU and BBL to do secure remote stuff. I hate doing this solo. Shannon's going to be joining us in just a bit for stuff. But you guys know, Transition Season 8. Great stuff on, well, damn it. Got a great show for you guys this week, as I say every episode, because they're all great. Hello and welcome to Hak5. My name is Darren Kitchen, and that was my mouse. I know, it kind of sounds a little weird, but rather than just using the... Damn it, I am so off today. No, really, how was your weekend? Hold on, sending a text. EEF5204 D6A.